Coming up on ECG, Marvel's having another Civil War.
In the not-too-distant future, MST3K revival is a go.
We get our first look at the X-Men Apocalypse.
Half-Life 3 confirmed again.
All this and more coming up on the East Coast Geek podcast. Welcome to episode 47 of the East Coast Geek podcast for Friday, December 11th, 2015, where we bring you all the latest news on comics, movies, and gaming. I'm your host, Jeremy, and with me, as always, is Opu. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good, I guess, Getting ready for work tonight, so...
That's a statement right there.
Yeah.
We really need to get a new theme song. I got to contact somebody about that. I know a friend that might be able to hook us up with something.
Oh, so, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Something more us.
Exactly. We need our sound.
Basically, what they could do is take a guitar and throw it down the stairs.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that'd be perfect. All right, so what have you been doing this week, man?
I've been playing Metal Gear Solid 5 because I'm trying to rush through the story there to get back to Fallout 4 because I've been having like a panic attack of not deciding which one I want to play.
Yeah, so, I know that feeling. I have tons of games to play, and including Metal Gear Solid 5 now that I have it on the PC.
What have you been playing?
I have been playing a bit of Just Cause 3. I got to cut up some video of that and probably put the full videos up on my YouTube page. But I've also been playing a lot of Rainbow Six Siege. I think I'm addicted.
So, tell me about... I don't know, because I'm not... Is this like... Black Ops and Call of Duty, or Rainbow Six is its own thing, really, right?
Yeah, Rainbow Six is its own thing. It's been around since, I think, mid-90s. I think we were looking it up. I think it was like 95, 96, something like that. And basically, it's a dream team of an anti-terrorist unit grabbing from like the U.S. FBI SWAT and the French... GIGN SWAT, basically their SWAT team.
So it's a coalition?
Yeah, it's a coalition against terrorist actions worldwide. So,
but this is just a multiplayer only game, correct?
This one is a multiplayer only game, which kind of sucks, but at the same time, let me tell you, man, I am having a blast. I cannot stop playing it. Me and a couple of friends played it for about, I don't know, like 3 hours or 4 hours last night, just playing that. A little bit of Rocket League for warm-up, and then playing that. I'm getting pretty good, too. It's kind of interesting, because I usually suck at first-person shooters anyways, but I got some good highlights I got to put together. Yeah, right?
So what's your preferred role, I guess? I guess everybody is like a catch-all.
The way it's handled is actually it's not. I mean, everybody's got their offensive and defensive abilities, but... each operator individually has a special thing. Like, there's a female FBI agent who, she has a gun that shoots a breaching charge and then it detonates after a few seconds once it's put onto a wall or a window or whatever. There's another guy on the defensive side, and the operators you can pick. There's either offensive or defense, or assault or defense. So, you can't use the same one for the defensive side as you used on the assault side. So because they have a unique ability. Like one of the defensive sides, the guy's name is Rook, and he starts out the game with a bag of bulletproof vests. And he sets it down at the beginning of the round, and everybody gets a boost to their armor. There's another guy on the offensive side named, I think it was Fuse, and he can basically put this charge on a door, and it unloads about 3 or 4 grenades through the doorway, and then it blows an entry hole. So it's really neat. There's a bunch of unique abilities for each character that makes them stand out against the others. So, and to make it all better is I think it's like 12 operators on each off assault and defensive sides, and you can only take in 5. So there's a lot of meta going on in there for that.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah, I don't get that deep into it. I know with MGS5, I try about 3 times to do a mission, and if that doesn't work, the way they want you to, which is no no alerts, no killing,
Yeah.
then I have to kill everybody. I've yet to use an airstrike still, so I'm not that bad.
How about the chicken hat?
I haven't used the chicken hat. Okay, I accidentally clicked on it one time when it popped up
Yeah.
without realizing what it said because I was just like, come on, let me do this again. And so I had the chicken hat on, but I immediately took it off, but it already affected my grade, so I should have
Yeah.
just might as well used it.
Yeah. You need to try the Metal Gear Online.
No, no,
You should
I
try.
won't. I won't be doing the fob stuff.
What? No, not the fob. The Metal Gear Online. It's basically, uh, for lack of better words, Rainbow Six with Metal Gear tactics instead.
I
Have you seen?
can't even beat the dumb AI,
Yeah, but
much less actual human
it
beings.
looks like fun though.
I'm sure it's fun. You try it then.
I can't. It doesn't come out on the PC till like January or something like that.
Well, hey, but
But I
maybe by
will.
then it'll actually be working right, like it's
Yeah.
supposed to be.
Yeah. So.
Because I'm sure they're still suffering on their online stuff. I'm dreading having to do the fob stuff. Everything I'm reading about it's just a massive pain and bogs down the game.
All right. So anything else we got before we go move on to the news?
One quick note is apparently Arrested Development Season 5 has started the writing stages or is in the writing stages. I haven't read the article just yet. We got a link to it last minute just as we were setting up, so I decided I'd say that for you, Kay. So that's all we got for now. I still haven't finished watching Season 4 of it.
Oh my gosh, it's pretty funny. I still have to watch the last few, but she's watched it multiple times. So.
It's a great show.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I think I've made a huge tiny mistake.
yeah, it's amazing how like everything is so tied into
Yeah.
each other in that show. It's absolutely just brilliant in its stupidity.
Yeah. So. All right, let's go ahead and get into the news. The first thing we've got here, Civil War II is confirmed.
Technically, I guess this is like Civil War 3 for Marvel. It was Civil War, which was the pro-registration versus anti-registration of the superheroes in America, not the world, which was funny because Shield was trying to police
The whole world.
they were trying to police the whole world, which in the movies they can, in the comics they really are trying. It's complicated.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, so they were trying to register heroes that weren't United States citizens, so they really couldn't touch them. Then they were trying. It was screwy. It was poorly conceived and thought out. It was more like a I don't know what do you, a knee jerk reaction to the times. It could have been brilliant if they had just sat down and thought of that and had a.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so the creative team has been announced. The Invincible Iron Man team of Brian McElbendis and David Marquez. And here's the strange thing: based on the calendar, Civil War II looks to debut in May 2016. What comes out May 2016?
Oh.
Marvel,
I
you
think the
got it?
Civil
What
War
is it?
comes out. I think Captain America Civil War comes out, right?
Like Captain America Civil War comes out. How strange is that?
That's
It's
a
just
twinky dink.
yeah. So, like I said, this is technically the third one because the Civil War, the Secret Wars that they've had going on for I don't know how many months. Another event had a Civil War sequel in it,
Right, right.
and so now they're having another one. And here's my thing: is Marvel's been announcing events faster than they can finish them in the comics. This is from May of 2006. And I know they have planning out to that because it's comics. It takes a long time to create, but they just announced Apocalypse War, which we'll get into Apocalypse later.
Right.
Or they just started it. They've been having Secret War. They've had the Battle Worlds going on. They've had I don't know how many. That's enough events, Marvel. You don't have to go event to event. The readers are going to get exhausted and bored and tired. Just have some normal basic story arcs for people to relax, and then you can slowly build up to the next one.
Right. Right. Yeah. Start to get a storyline fatigue.
Yeah, exactly. And and I was asking my friends earlier that what's been going on with comics because one, I can't afford them right now, and two is that just to catch up on Secret Wars, I'd have to buy like 15 books, not to mention the backstories for them. And I'm like, well, what's the point? You know?
Right. Right.
That,
Yeah,
that
that's why it's overwhelming for someone like me to try to jump into a comic series in the middle, or even to try and find a number one of a series, even with the new stuff.
Right, so it's like, if they would go ahead and finish the event, just have a basic story arc, Spider Man, um, I don't know, just deals with Electro and Shocker or something for 6 straight issues. That's a good point for it to build up something else. And don't even get me with the Iron Man Spider Man going on right now, where now Spider Man is, he's classically a street level character.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And now they have him. They have him going around the world, policing the world, using Iron Man quality tech. And while he's smart enough to do so, that's not what he's about. So, and even then, he fails at doing it. So it's just.
Yeah. I mean, what can you do? Chief of Stuff in the YouTube chat room said, "Don't pull a new 52."
Oh, don't worry. I've got some notes on 52.
Oh, great.
In fact, I'll go ahead and quickly throw them in before we move into the movie stuff.
All right.
One, Booster Gold needs to come back. My buddy John has requested that, and I love Booster Gold. Booster Gold and Blue Beetle, buddy cop series that should have been a TV show long before Batman Arrow ever was. Even though I still like most of Arrow. I found out that Mogo, it's a sentient planet in the DC universe that has the second most powerful Green Lantern battery. They gave it a power boost. They gave a sentient planet a power boost. How do you do that? Now it can access all the ring spectrums,
Right.
blue, purple, violet, yellow, whatever, except for black and white.
Well, what?
I don't know. I don't know. And apparently it's getting smarter now, so.
Hey, well, don't forget too. Nathan Fillion wants to be Booster Gold, right?
And that would be perfect. I mean,
Right.
why? Once DC heard that, or Warner Brothers heard that, somebody should have just immediately, they should have hired Usain Bolt to run a contract to him. Just go ahead and sign into it. We'll figure out the script later.
Right. That guy has missed. It has been part of more missed opportunities in movies than I've ever seen. I mean, he could have
He's
been.
talented.
He
He's a
could
fun guy. He looks good. When he's in shape, he looks really good.
From the little bit that I've played Uncharted, he would have been the perfect Nathan Drake.
Oh, he absolutely would have been a perfect Nathan Drake. He could have played a Green Lantern. Maybe not necessarily Hal. I think he's too nice to play Hal. And our guy, maybe a really older Kyle or something.
Do you think he was too? You think he was too nice in Firefly? You don't think he could pull off the bad boy?
He can pull off. It's a different type of bad boy, really.
I mean, I know he had morals then, even then in Firefly. So.
Well, that and they're two complicated characters.
Yeah.
But I would like. You know what? The thing is, he could also play. I think he could play Ted Kord as well. So he could either play Blue Beetle or Booster Gold.
Right.
And I think bumping Booster Gold's age up to Nathan Fillion's would actually make him more lovable and more pathetic, because Booster is basically, he was like a museum janitor that stole an old super suit and then traveled back in time to become a superhero.
Right.
So it's not like he was given great power or anything. He stole it, and he decided he wanted to become famous. And he knew if he went back in time, with the Neanderthal type of people that we are, that it would be like playing on easy mode for him. And then he found out it's not as easy as he thought. Though he's a lot more competent now. He just likes to play the fool to keep people unawares of what he can do.
Right. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on to this other thing we threw in the comics here. The X-Men Apocalypse trailer. I grabbed a bunch of pictures, so.
Okay, well, why don't you start us off? What were your thoughts?
Quality Fox material, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it looks like it might be the most exciting of the X-Men films, and that's not really saying much. I found it overwhelming I mean, not overwhelming,
Underwhelming.
underwhelming. The
Yeah.
opposite. I
Yeah.
found it underwhelming. I know they paid like 50 million for J Law to be in the movies, and so they had to push her to the forefront. But that's not what Mystique is as a character, you know.
Right. Yeah,
I mean,
and
she's
we
led teams before, but
and we saw no Mystique actually technically.
yeah, we only saw
Just
just
her
her.
regular human form. So,
Of course they, because
and
of course.
hey, I
Uh,
was actually just thinking about it too. Just to break in here, I was at I went and saw the Peanuts movie for my birthday the other day,
oh yeah, how
and
was that?
it was really good. I really liked it. I'm a big fan of Snoopy versus the Red Baron, which that movie definitely had a bunch of. So,
So was it? So was it more like the comics, or was it more like the cartoon?
um,
Which I mean, I
I
guess
guess
that's
I
very
guess
trivial, but
I mean, yeah, it had the essence of Charlie Brown, so it was good.
okay.
But my point was when I walked out of the theater, there was a nice poster for Mockingjay,
Mm-hmm.
and she looks really good in that red armor. I like that movie poster. Uh, Jennifer Lawrence, yeah,
Yeah, I haven't seen. I've seen the first one, and that made me read all the books. So I read all the books. I like the books.
yeah.
I've watched part one of the second one, and I guess it was part of. Did they do part one and part two of the second one
No,
and the
it
third
was
one?
no. It's just the third. The third one was split up. So,
Oh, and do we have that in the notes? Early spoiler, but they want to do prequels to the Hunger Games now.
oh no, we didn't throw it in there, but that's worth mentioning, and we can just
Yeah,
jump back to the
I don't
X
think
Men.
that's a good idea, but whatever.
Right. All right. So, anyways, back to the X Men.
So, anyways, back to the X Men. Okay, and even if you have Mystique as a leader, one, she is so over her head fighting somebody like Apocalypse and the Horsemen.
Right.
He, he believes himself to be a god in most canons, and he usually speaks like one. I That's another thing. I do not think this Apocalypse came off as, in the trailer at least, as like being that kind of overwhelming force. He just seemed like a human guy with a lot of power, as opposed to this guy might be a force of nature.
Well,
Something.
I mean, they tried to build it up with that one woman talking about him. You know, he was around since before recorded history. You know, or that was he around after the Bible, or did the Bible reference him and stuff like that? So
Yeah, I mean they were trying to, but then he just the payoff wasn't there.
yeah, yeah,
For it. And I think we're spoiled because the '90s X-Men cartoon had the voice for it. He had this alien deep voice, this massive bass voice. Did you ever listen to that? I should have
I
linked
don't
it.
remember it. I don't remember it.
And he gave the best speeches. Like he had this one line when somebody thinks he's a mutant. He's like, "What are you? Are you some kind of filthy mutant?" And then he started transforming and become massive. And he's like, "I'm as far beyond mutants as mutants are beyond you."
Yeah.
And
Um.
stuff like that. I'm the rocks on the eternal shore, crash into me and be broken. You know,
You know,
I
I
didn't
think
get any of that.
speaking of the cartoons, I think this is why I give these movies a pass usually, is because I was such a huge fan of the cartoons when I was growing up, and even the trading cards and all that. Uh, I don't know. I'm not as harsh of a judgment on the X-Men movies. I just kind
But
of
here's
just
the
enjoy
thing:
them.
is the cartoons were extreme. The '90s cartoons were extremely loyal to the plot lines and stuff.
Right.
I mean, obviously they had to tone down the violence. When's the last time you saw Wolverine actually stab somebody?
Right.
But
Well, geez, it took us a whole freaking movie before we saw him do it right at the beginning of the second movie,
yeah,
because he
before
never.
we saw an actual Berserker rage,
Right.
and if you go watch Hulk versus Wolverine, he actually cuts people up, and it shows
Right.
how he's really dangerous.
Right.
So yes, I think Mystique's wrong for it. Apocalypse looks a little bit better in action, but still not really
Right.
to me. They did show him size shifting. Remember, he had that one guy down, and he grew really massive.
Right.
So that was neat. And I did see in his arms where he has what's supposed to imply those tubes that he has hanging down.
Right.
The thing is, he is a mutant that's been imbued with celestial technology and power.
Right.
So his initial powers were he was like a massive gray hulking figure, and he could live for weeks without food, water, and water. Super strength, durable, things like that. It's only when he got the access to celestial technology, he got all these other powers, shape shifting,
Did
energy rays, all this stuff. So anyway,
did I miss this
um,
other comment here? The Storm is a bad guy.
Storm apparently is one of the Horsemen now.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if I like that idea. Yes, she was a thief and a criminal before she met Professor Xavier, but she wasn't inciting, trying to destroy the world.
Right.
Um,
Okay. I did. I guess I didn't pick up when they were saying the thing about the horsemen that she was one of them. So
well, that's what the trailer makes it look like to me.
okay.
So I could be wrong. That could be just me with my skewed perspective. It also seems like Apocalypse has the ability to just forcibly amplify and alter mutants' powers to where they can't control them,
Right.
according to the trailer. Technically, he can do that in a way, but he has to use technology in the comics. So I can kind of almost give that a pass, except for the he makes their powers go wonky. I don't like that idea. It looks like it was ripped from Fantastic Four 2.
Oh God.
You remember that where anybody that messed with the Silver Surfer, their powers would fluctuate or whatever?
No, I don't remember that. Remember, I told you I never watched those movies.
Oh well, bless your heart, you're so lucky. That Quicksilver running down the hallway scene looks stupid.
Yeah,
Like
I
that,
thought
his
this.
face.
I thought the same thing. So when I went and read the notes, I was glad to see you threw that in there. It just, I don't like that stuff. Um, the only
That
time,
steady cam where everything else goes crazy behind them.
the only time that I've thought that has looked good is what was it, episode 3 of Ash versus the Evil Dead, when they got the camera on the back end or the front end of the shotgun looking back at Ash. That looks okay, but this is too much because that was just like a flash. This is like a whole. It looks like it's gonna be a whole scene of just like he's holding the camera in front of him.
You know what that kind of that steady cam. I don't know if it's steady cam or what. Whatever it's usually used for funny scenes. You know,
Right.
like remember when it was that
Benny Hill.
that movie where the guy gets stabbed with the adrenaline and he just wakes up and he just starts running
Oh,
everywhere and
Crank.
screaming.
Everybody's favorite ridiculous movie, Crank.
Yeah.
Yeah, with
No,
Jason
yeah,
Statham.
Crank, it was used in Crank a lot. It was used in another film I'm thinking of, but yeah, Crank's a good example. So yeah, it just really whatever dramatic moment's supposed to be happening there,
Right.
it ain't happening.
Yeah.
Speaking of dramatic, when your final shot of your trailer, which they usually say for your dramatic reveal, is simply a bald Xavier, you've done something wrong. Everybody knows Xavier is going to be bald. It was in the first movies. It's been in the comics for 60 years. You showed us nothing there.
Oh,
And
that's funny. That's funny. I thought Xavier was bald because Patrick Stewart was bald in the first movie.
Really? No.
I know.
Actually,
I was kidding.
Oh, I was about to say, because one of the supposedly what happened on when they were pitching him playing Professor Xavier
Right.
is they handed him a comic with Xavier on the front. He said, "What am I doing in the comic?" It looked just like him. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, do you? Okay, so I know we have other trailers that were released this week. How do you think this trailer compares to Batman versus Superman?
It doesn't even compare to that.
Yeah.
Honestly, Batman versus Superman's new trailer made me actually want to go see the movie, except for when they brought Jesse Eisenberg in. This didn't make me want to see the movie anymore. It's another one that I can see waiting till it comes out on DVD somewhere.
Or Netflix
or Netflix, which whatever.
Yeah.
It's not compelling me to go see the movie. I am not compelled.
Now this is their first trailer, so if they release another one and our opinions change, or we can mock it some more, obviously we'll go with it.
I was gonna say,
post it,
is there anything else that we can expect?
Well, we didn't really see much of Archangel. We didn't see Olivia Munn as Psylocke.
Yeah, she was in there.
Huh? I didn't really see
Yeah,
it.
she was in there just for a flash. She was like the Storm Flash. It was just real quick. She was there.
There was Sansa Stark in there. We got to figure out what she was doing. Probably going to portray the X-Men, and because
she's
Apocalypse
okay.
is just such a nice person, it's all I ever dreamed of.
She's Jean Grey. What are you talking about? She's not
She's
going to
supposed to be
betray the
Jean.
X-Men.
Oh,
She's
that's
not
the
going to
worst
betray.
casting for Jean Grey.
When has she ever betrayed the X-Men?
Well, probably every other time she went insane.
I know. I was kidding.
Oh, okay. And Cyclops. Okay, one more thing. Cyclops pissing and moaning to Mystique, and she having to motivate him.
They have really screwed that up since the original movies. He is such a whiny little brat compared to...
He was so good in the first one. He was such an accurate...
arrogant, spot on. He was what he was supposed to be. He was what I expected to see even from the comics. Or not comics, the cartoons back from the 90s.
Yeah.
That was exactly what I was seeing in that first movie. I was like, holy crap, he's an asshole. That's perfect.
Yeah. I mean, he still had his, like, you could see things from his perspective. Yeah, you got this newcomer, this psychotic, immortal killer. I might need to not be nice to him at first.
Trying to move in on his girl.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not holding up, so.
But we'll see.
All right, well, let's go ahead and move into the movies. We got more stuff in there, so. All right, the first thing I'm kind of excited about is Mystery Science Theater 3000 revival is, well, it has reached its goal a long time ago, but it is so close to getting a 12-episode season, which would be awesome.
Actually, I think it's 12 episodes plus a Christmas bonus. Now, I donated to this today, so there's that. But even so, I put this in the notes like a week, earlier this week because I didn't know if I'd be able to get to it in time. But no, this was.
You hear that, everybody?
We talked about it last week, right? Did we?
You hear that, everybody? He spent his comic money on a great cause.
Yeah. Well, last week it was confirmed that the MST3K revival reached its 2 million goal, so they were going to try for like 3 episodes. Now the third host, they've announced both Mads. They announced a ton of stuff. So the new host, who pretty much has more or less officially come on board, is the Nerdist's Jonah Ray. I do not know the Nerdist that well. I've never watched their stuff or read their stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm going to trust Joel. He's a funny guy. He made this great show, but he says that he can't really tell us what kind of host Jonah is going to be, but I hope you give him a chance to show you.
Yeah, I mean, give him the shot. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. We gave Mike the shot. Now, honestly,
I still like Joel.
I like Mike a little bit better than I like Joel.
Really?
Yeah.
We don't see eye to eye on that one, man. I like Joel better.
I mean, I love them both, but I think I identify more with Mike. As that would be my kind of luck, is that I'm just happening to be interning someplace or whatever, and then get forcibly shot into space
as a janitor.
Yeah, because Joel always had it like he was like almost Bugs Bunny in a way. He always had like he was just one up on the Mads,
right?
Even though he was still in space,
right?
But Mike seemed far more helpless and nowhere near as smart or on Joel's level. Anyway, so Joel says, and even if you're familiar with Jonah's career, remember that doesn't mean he'll bring the exact same approach to MST3K. I think a lot of you may be surprised. Plus, like the previous members of our cast, I think Jonah has a great instinct and a lot of range. He's funny, he's wicked smart, and like I said, his heart's in the right place. He loves MST3K. He seems to understand what makes it special. And most importantly, I know he takes the role seriously. At the end of the day, he's just another regular guy in a yellow jumpsuit, not so different from you and me. I'm excited to see what he can bring to the next 100 episodes of Mystery Science Theater until it's time to hand the jumpsuit over to someone else.
God, I really hope that's true. The next 100 episodes.
Wouldn't it be nice?
The show's comedy gold.
It's great. And, I don't know. So we'll just see. There's enough bad movies out there for him, I hope. And, let's get through the rest of our news before we start speculating. Felicia Day is the new Mad. Kinga, the daughter of Dr. Clayton Forrester, she's going to be Jonah's adversary. Patton Oswalt would be joining the cast too as TV Frank's son,
That's
or rather,
hilarious.
TV's son of TV's Frank.
Great.
Did you see the Twitter or the dialogue between him and Patton Oswalt?
No, no.
He's like, so I'm thinking about getting you to play like the new TV's Frank, maybe a clone or the son of TV's Frank, like the TV son of TV's Frank.
Oh my
What would you
god.
think? He's like, oh my god, yes. He's like, I get to push the button. He's like, what? Yeah. He's like, what do you think about it, sir? He's like, yes.
That's
Anybody would
awesome.
jump at the chance, although obviously most of us would be intimidated.
Patton Oswalt's been doing a lot of great stuff lately, anyways. Between what he's done on Agents of Shield and he's great narrating the Goldbergs TV show. So
Patton Oswalt is just hilarious. He's passionate about shows and comics and games and stuff.
yeah, I was gonna say
So,
he's a huge nerd. So
yeah, so he's it's I can see it. They have I think we posted a mock up of what they look like, and he looks perfect.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I didn't grab that picture. I totally forgot about it.
But well, there's a picture of him there with like the TV Frank's hair. I don't know if that's actual makeup or somebody just photoshopped it on, but it looks great. Felicia Day's adorable, so it'll be interesting to see her play somebody evil. Incompetent but evil, but so still.
Right. I'm excited about. Oh, well,
What's
how
up?
far did you get into that last one?
I'm right here. Oswald and Day will join Hampton Yount and Baron Vaughn, who will voice Crow and Server respectively. I don't know how they do, so I'm a little nervous about that because
They'll be all right.
I'm sure they will be. The Wrap has reported that Hodgson has brought a team of new guest writers for his revival that includes community creator Dan Harmon, the King Killer Chronicle author Patrick Rothfuss, Ready Player One author Ernest Cline, which you still need to finish,
Yes.
and more. Other names joining the staff include Rick and Morty co-creator Justin Rowland. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I'm excited. Between him and Dan Harmon, I was really excited to see that. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah,
Hopefully-
after that, I was like, whatever episodes they write are probably going to be the best ones. And I
Yeah.
hope they work on the same episode together because they are so alike in some of their humor.
Yeah, they are.
We also have Hammond's Monster House and community collaborator Rob Scarab, Sabrina the Teenage Witch creator Neil Scovell, comedian Dana Gold. Dana?
Yeah, Dana Gould.
Yeah. Nerdy Musical Wizards Pollenstorm, which I remember them from when they were the Quintuplet acapella group.
Oh, okay.
And EGOT winner Robert Lopez, who co-wrote the songs for Disney's blockbuster Frozen. That's a lineup.
Yeah, oh for sure. Yeah, they've got a lot of good names attached to this show. Too big to fail? No, I'm just kidding. I think it's right in the spot where they need it to be. I'll be curious to see what movies they use.
Yeah, that's my thing. Is that was always the tricky thing for them back in the day was I guess to get the right movies, and I guess since they're releasing them online, they might have a little more freedom with that because there were certain movies they couldn't show,
Right.
certain movies they had to edit.
Right.
Like I think it was Side Hackers actually had a graphic rape scene. Was it Side Hackers or something like that?
I don't
And they
remember
didn't.
that.
So they only watched the first part of the movie. They didn't get to that part.
Oh my
They used
gosh.
to just watch like the first 20 minutes and be like, "Oh yeah, this is stupid. We can totally do, riff this movie." And after that movie, they said we have to watch every movie, all the way through, because there was like a graphic rape and murder scene all mixed together.
Yeah, it's a good lineup. Great staff writers, man. That'll be awesome.
Do you think they'll do some modern stuff like?
See, that's what I'm curious as to what their range of movies are, because they always did stuff from like, what, 50s, 60s, and some 70s.
They had some 70s. I think they had a couple of 80s movies in there.
Did they ever do Zardos? I don't remember. Did you know what movie?
No,
that is?
they didn't do that.
You know what movie that is, though, right?
I know
That's
exactly what
such a
movie that
weird
is.
movie. If anybody ever wants to see Sean Connery in a weird movie, go see Zardoz.
He did that supposedly after James Bond, so he wouldn't be pigeonholed into
Yeah.
one type of role. So he just did the most outrageous thing he could find, and he
outrageous.
succeeded. I mean, for better or worse.
That was outrageous.
Let's see. I've got their page pulled up. Let me refresh it real quick. They're at 96% funded. They're trying for 5.9 million, which will get a episode 13 holiday special unlocked. Currently, they are roughly in the 10 to 12 episode range, so a decent sized season.
That's awesome.
Uh,
I mean, you're looking at that's at least, well, that's around 20 hours if it's 2 hours or an hour and a half plus banter.
yeah, they were usually hour and a half, 2 hour long episodes, which
Yep.
was funny because the movie they made was shorter than one of the regular episodes.
Right?
Um,
Well, that's good. I mean, I hope they get there.
yeah, I'm
We'll
absolutely pumped. I mean, we at least get right now the way their bar looks. We at least get 11 episodes.
Yeah.
And who knows who might kick in at the last minute because this show, you know, it basically helped create Comedy Central. They don't like to say it, but it helped create it.
Yeah.
In fact, them screwing them over is what made them lose Penn Teller as their announcer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and who knows how many of these writers that they've got on board were inspired by Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Right.
So, yeah, so who knows who else will have come in. So, I'm pumped. I'm 100% pumped for this.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I do hope Mike Nelson gets in on it somehow.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to show. Maybe like videos from the vault or something.
Yeah, or
warnings for
as
you
a
guys.
guest writer or something.
Yeah,
You know,
or
they got
something.
plenty of.
Yeah.
So,
Alright.
yeah.
All right, let's
So-
get on to the next thing here because this
Heck
is
yeah.
exciting too. Marvel and Netflix Iron Fist lands Scott Buck as showrunner.
Yes, the rumors of Iron Fist being shelved was just awful, ugly rumors, and whoever started them is a awful person, and I hate you.
Bad person.
Iron Fist is one of my favorite characters, and I wish I'd gotten into him sooner, but
I wonder with as much of the the shows that we've got going now with Jessica Jones. So next year we'll have Daredevil. Does this mean they're going to be like we could be really close to having like 3 seasons worth of shows during a year?
you know, if they rotate them,
Yeah.
we could. You know, like Daredevil season 2, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones season 2, Defenders, then Daredevil season 3,
You
Punisher.
forgot, yeah, I was going to say you forgot the most important one, the Punisher.
Punisher. Then there's the potential for Elektra to get a spinoff, though I don't see that very likely. But you know, I mean they've got a strong lineup going, and
For sure.
I'm so pumped for Iron Fist alone. You know, I
Yeah.
love Daredevil. I've loved Jessica Jones. I'm sure I'm going to love Luke Cage. I'm already loving the actor they've got for Luke Cage. He's so great.
I'm slowly getting through Jessica Jones, and I got to that part where there was a confrontation on the street. So
Oh, yeah.
when they try to pick him up, so yeah, really, really good. And the caliber of these shows on Netflix are incredible. I am so happy that they decided to do this. It's great exposure for the comic book genre, especially in an obscure kind of character like Jessica Jones, or I mean Daredevil's a little more well known, but then you're gonna get Iron Fist, the Punisher, which
Punisher's had 3 movies though. Remember?
but I really liked that first one. I really liked Thomas.
No,
Jane.
you didn't like the
I
first one.
really
The first
like
one is
Thomas
with
Jane.
Dolph Lundgren
That one, yeah.
from the 80s, where the only Punisher symbol on it was a knife. He had the Punisher symbol on a knife.
Right. Yeah, no. I meant the real first
The,
one.
the Thomas Jane one, yes.
I did not
was
like,
great.
even though everybody said Ray Stevenson played the Punisher better, I really got turned off by the preview, man. Listen, I know how 40 millimeter grenade round works, and you can't just shoot it through a wall and it blow up on the other side. It doesn't work. It does not work.
Well, once you accept it's a comic book universe.
No, listen, the Punisher
I know.
is not.
Trust me, you and I both know how those work.
The Punisher is not a traditional comic book hero or anti-hero.
But he still has
he's a human
certain
being.
comic physics that work for him.
But he's a human being. He has no special abilities other than he's a badass,
And he doesn't age apparently because
doesn't age.
I think they've just now updated him from the Vietnam War to like
yeah.
Operation Desert
Yeah,
Storm or something.
yeah. Well, no, I think they're moving that forward to the current war. Like, not even Desert Storm, but to the current. Wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was
2002 or whatever.
like yeah,
Enduring Freedom or something.
The OIF stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see that, but it'll be interesting to see what they do with the TV show as well.
But yeah, I can't wait to see the way this guy plays the Punisher.
Yeah.
This is getting off of my guy, Danny Rand, Iron
Sorry.
Fist.
Sorry.
Okay, so we haven't talked about this. ComicBook.com has confirmed that Iron Fist has chosen a showrunner, Scott Buck, who served as executive producer on Dexter and a producer on 6 Feet Under. I know Dexter was dark. 6 Feet Under, I don't know how dark that was or whatever.
I heard it was kind of weird.
I heard it was kind of weird too, but I don't know. Yeah, so he'll take the reins of the fourth and final solo series with Marvel and Netflix before they meet in a Defenders miniseries. Marvel describes Iron Fist as follows: returning to New York City after being missing for years, Daniel Rand fights against the criminal element corrupting New York City with his incredible kung fu mastery and ability to summon the awesome power of the fiery Iron Fist. You remember, I think it was, Madame Gao or whoever in Daredevil?
Yep.
You know how she just decided to pick up and leave?
Yeah.
I wonder if that's when, in the timeline, that's when Iron Fist shows up.
Right.
And he's the one that she's actually worried about, not Daredevil. She can handle Daredevil.
Right.
But Iron Fist is on a whole different level of Matt, and he's supposed to be.
Hey, surprise though, instead of being Kung Fu, he'll use karate like the Karate Kid used Kung Fu in the newest movie.
He calls it Kung Fu, but he uses a
variation.
These like alien versions, I guess you could say. He has all these different fighting styles from another dimension.
Excellent.
So it's kind of Kung Fu, but it's kind of not. And in the comics, it's funny because he actually whips out some street fighting moves too, not like the Hadouken. I'm talking about like sucker punches and headbutts.
Oh, nice.
That Luke Cage taught him.
Oh, great.
So he has a very, very unique, very dangerous fighting style.
Awesome.
Not to mention his immensely powerful Iron Fist, which hopefully they don't downgrade it as much as other characters' powers, because originally he could only use Iron Fist once a day, and then he had to wait for it to recharge. Nowadays, obviously, he can turn it on and off as need be, and has even managed to survive an explosion from a bullet train filled with TNT or NC4 or whatever, while using that power. So, let's see where I'm at. The two shows, both on premium cable, certainly carry the dark tone that's been established for the first two series, Daredevil and Jessica Jones, but little is known about the plan for the Iron Fist so far. The character is by far the most all-out superhero out of the four Defenders, with a background that includes a Mystic City, a superpowered punch, and fighting a dragon, and ripping that dragon's heart out, and sticking his fist into it, or whatever.
Great.
No new timeline has been given for Iron Fist debut. Daredevil Season 2 is next, coming in spring 2016, with Luke Cage Season 1 later that year. Jessica Jones launched a few weeks ago to critical acclaim, so it's possible a second season could be on the way there as well. I really hope they go with like the full-bodied outfit, the dark green and like maybe a dark gold for his mask, the half mask. Though I guess I wouldn't be against the long '70s cut where it was like that jumpsuit with the big collar.
Yeah.
And
well, I don't know was that his original look? Because I mean, we got at least that with Daredevil. We got his original.
That was more or less his original look, if I remember correctly. But it's so like cartoony,
right?
And Daredevil's original look wasn't the all black.
Right.
It was retconned into being that. Originally, it was red and gold.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I got that one back there. It's on the shelf.
Yeah,
I had to look. It's there.
Yeah, that's his original costume. So we'll see. Like you said, this is at least. I mean, this one is the most superhero one from the word go. You know,
right?
As opposed to Daredevil, who starts off with street thugs, the Kingpin, Then he goes to mystical ninjas. Then he goes to Spider-Man level threats like not Kingpin, like Electro, Mysterio, Stiltman.
That sounds exciting. I'm sure he's
Yeah.
really tall.
So yeah, I'm pumped for it. I can't wait. If you haven't read the the Immortal Iron Fist series that came out like 2005 or whatever, I highly recommend it. Followed up by the Immortal Weapons series,
So that's a
was
good
another
place to
great
start.
one.
Good place to start.
Very good place to start. You get some backstory expansion on the Iron Fist lore. You find out that Immortal Iron Fist is a title given to their Iron Fist champion who
Oh,
uses
okay.
the power. And the Immortal Weapons series goes into each of there's like 8 mystical realms
Okay.
or cities, and they each have their own immortal weapon.
And Iron Fist is one of them.
And Iron Fist is
Got
one
it.
of them. Yes.
I am tracking. All right. The next thing we've got, Star Trek Beyond teaser will be released with the Star Wars The Force Awakens movie. Interesting. I mean, it's the right audience, right? I mean,
That's like
no. Listen, let's not fool anybody. They are both sci-fi movies. There are a lot of people like myself that like Star Wars and Star Trek, so it'll speak to those people. But it'll also maybe give those people that are, on the fence, maybe a little push in the right direction.
Yeah. At the same time, it's like because there are diehard Trekkies out there, you know.
Yeah, they'll
So
never watch a
I
Star
just
Wars movie. I know.
yeah,
They're out
who
there.
who refuse to watch Star Wars, and my wife is a Trekkie, and she can't stand the Star Wars movies.
What?
And she does not like them. I mean, of course, those are the prequels. Nobody likes the prequels,
Oh
really.
God. What? She
So,
didn't watch the originals?
well, yeah, but the thing is, she's one of those people. No offense, honey, but you can't appreciate like older films unless you grew up with them. Like,
Great.
it's really hard to get. I've noticed that it's hard to get people to acknowledge. Okay, this was made in the '70s.
They're
This
timeless
was high
classics.
tech.
They're timeless classics. Come
Yeah.
on.
What can you do?
All right. So, anyways, although the Star Trek sequel hails from Paramount Pictures, the Hollywood Reporter notes that it, perhaps unsurprisingly, is receiving favored treatment because of J.J. Abrams / Bad Robot connections. The website also reports that other films expected to secure trailer placement with the Disney The Force Awakens includes Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, Universal's The Huntsman: Winter War, and Fox's X-Men Apocalypse. Oh, and Independence Day Resurgence. I guess the aliens are coming back for more money. I mean, wait, Will Smith? No, who's coming back? Is it just
Jeff Goldblum.
just Jeff Goldblum? Okay, so he's coming back for some more money.
Who played the president in that movie?
Bill Pullman.
Bill Pullman.
Yeah.
Maybe Bill Pullman's coming back.
By that time, he won't be the president anymore.
I don't know, but he could. He was the one that inspired everybody.
And spoilers, Russell Case will not be back.
Yeah.
So, I guarantee people are paying top dollar to put their trailers in front of that movie because everybody on this continent, I think, are probably going to go see that at one point.
It's this movie is probably the equivalent of the Super Bowl for nerds in a way.
Well, not just nerds. There are people that aren't nerds or don't qualify themselves as nerds
That love Star
that'll
Wars,
be
yeah,
there,
but they really couldn't give two craps about those trailers. So,
right.
You know,
All right, let's. You got anything else on that? Otherwise, we'll
I
move on
had
to the next
nothing
thing.
else on that. I just found it extremely hilarious.
All right, let's get on to the other one. This one I did not watch. So
You didn't watch this? Oh my goodness! Why didn't you watch it? So we just got to go off my ramblings for this.
It said Michael Bay in the.
By the way, let me go ahead
Anyways.
and break this down for people. Yes, Michael Bay is just a producer.
Oh,
But guess
he's
what?
producer.
Producers have the final word on what goes in a film, from the dialogue to the music to the scenes. And with him being, one of the highest grossing directors of our time, whether his movies are good or not, he makes a lot of money. He's going to have the final word of what goes in. That's why it's Michael Bay all but in name.
Oh God. Yeah, I listen. I am not a huge fan of the new look on the Turtles. They look pretty terrible, and Poor Donatello looks emaciated beyond belief.
Yeah, they made him extremely scrawny, which because he's a geek. But yeah, you can make him look like thin and athletic. Like he
Like
doesn't
the
have
rest
to
of the
be the
turtles?
bodybuilder.
Like the rest of the turtles? Come on now. He works out just as much as the other ones do.
Well, no, he doesn't. But still, he's still going to have an athletic build to him. He might be thinner, but still giving him a little bit of muscle mass. Obviously, Raph would be the biggest, so that makes sense. But they're still just ugly looking. They're just not appealing to look at. They just are cluttered with so much crap. He's got a freaking proton pack on his back still. What happened to the ninja part?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
uh, and okay. And another thing, they've said that the turtles will get double the screen time from before. So that means it will bump from 14 minutes in a 2-hour film as opposed to 7 minutes. Megan Fox,
Did they really only
I,
get?
I love what's up.
Did they only get 7 minutes in the first
I don't
film?
know. It's obviously an exaggeration.
Oh,
but
okay, okay. I was
They
gonna
didn't get
say.
that much. Just like the Transformers didn't get that much in their own
Wow.
films. We got
Yeah.
to deal with stuttering Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox the entire time.
Just do it. Sorry.
Which you can actually do phone calls with him right now.
Oh, great.
Yeah, he's in England, but so you have to go by their time, which is like 3 hours ahead of Eastern Standard. But
Great. So Megan Fox has got some range too, huh?
yeah, she's playing the slutty character again. Although to be fair, she did ask him to tone it down in the first film. But I saw at least one scene where she looks like she's dressed up as a naughty schoolgirl.
All right, now this next note is the only reason that I will probably go watch that trailer after we're done.
Yes, Rocksteady and Bebop do look extremely loyal to the original designs. I was actually impressed by them. Yes, the CGI isn't complete. Yes, the CGI still looks bad, but they look almost like the cartoon characters.
Well, even Bebop's purple shades and his mohawk are
yes,
pretty neat.
yes, they even
I mean,
and the actors they got to play them look pretty good, like in their human form because they
they mocap them.
yeah. Gosh, they could have made it a Bebop and Rocksteady. Why couldn't they? If they're and here's the thing I've heard people say is that since they've adjusted Bebop Rocksteady to look more cartoony, why didn't they do that to the Turtles? Because now you got two different almost art styles clashing.
What's amazing is they still have those suits in storage. I mean, they could have just pulled out the old ones and been like, "Hey, look what we got! It's a new Turtles movie."
And the thing is, those I still think those are arguably better looking than the CGI that they do.
Yeah, oh for sure. Even as crappy as they were. Listen, I understand what my childhood holds dear and all that good stuff, but hold them up against these, and you'll join me on my side.
I mean, but still, here's the thing. Yes, they were incredible for their time.
Right.
It was the highest grossing independent film
Right.
for
Yeah.
20 years. But the thing is, with those suits, they could that you could actually see them acting. You could see the actors could move in them.
Yep.
And for all their flaws, all the failures of the suits, that they had some kind of realness to them.
Right. Right.
As opposed to you just talking to a guy in a green suit, and when you're already not a very strong actor, Megan, it only lessens your, the believability on that.
Right.
Yeah, you could do you could do a mixture too. You could have them in the suits and then CGI it a little bit more.
Right. Right.
So there's that. Oops, my chair might be working. I bought it for $5.
Oh no.
Stephen Amell appeared. He looks pretty good as Casey Jones. We didn't see much of him, except for Megan Fox saying, "Who are you?" which she asked in the first film. So apparently this reporter is not very good. What else? Yeah, so and this is going back to the Turtles. I got to get this out. This is so fitting for Michael Bay's style. He takes an original concept like the Turtles or the Transformers, and he throws so much unnecessary crap onto them that you can't see what the original concept used to be or what it was intended to be. Like the proton pack, the taping dumb stuff to them. I understand altering it somewhat to be your own thing, but And then the pop culture references from 8 years ago, trying to seem cool and with it, and in modern times, it's just frustrating to say the least.
Yeah.
And has anybody else that always noticed that he has some kind of semi pedophiliac character in his films? We had in, what was it, Armageddon or Deep Impact, where the guy was trying to date Bruce Willis's daughter,
Yeah.
even though I think she was supposed to be legal there. We had the special forces guy in Transformers One who said criminals are hot while looking Megan
Yeah.
Fox up and down. Remember
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're talking about what's his face?
Which he's actually a hilarious actor, so
Yeah,
you
he
know.
is. He is.
And for all we know, that could have been an ad lib from him.
Yeah.
And then you got in the third film where the guy's carrying around the state laws on consent or whatever, on what age people can be. How creepy was that in the third Transformers film? A Transformers film.
Oh, that was yeah, okay. Yeah, I listen. The first one
Not the third one. Was it the fourth one? No, it's the third one, right? With Marky Mark?
Yeah, oh, that was the fourth one. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the fourth one, I'm sorry.
I couldn't finish that one. I couldn't finish it. I could not
It's a bad movie.
I could not finish that movie.
They're all bad, but that's the worst. They've only gone downhill.
All right, let's go ahead and move into the gaming.
Well, I mean, do you have any thoughts? You
No.
post your thoughts on the Facebook page. So.
I'll have to throw them up there after I watch it. So, all right, let's move on. Push the button. Jeez, button wouldn't work. All right, Final Fantasy VII remake's trailer was revealed. I'm still not sold on it, especially on the news that I got later on, which I don't know if we threw. Oh yeah, you threw it in there at the end.
I threw a bunch of news in there. I didn't read over it again because I'm not very good at my job.
Yeah, the last major bullet is covered what I'm going to talk about, but yeah, so they're gonna do it in the Unreal 4 engine, which is cool because that's it's
is that the engine right now? Like,
well, it's Unreal's newest engine, yeah. I guess the new Gears of War will be on that engine, and a bunch of other upcoming games are being built on the Unreal 4 engine, and you can build on that engine yourself too. Remember?
Yeah, we've actually posted some
that
on our Facebook page, like the Goku one, and I think we posted the Sonic one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that one. The Mario one's really neat too.
Yeah.
So, I'd love to see a Metroid game done in that.
I'd like to see a Metroid game that's.
So the trailer shows not only more details on Cloud, Barrett, but also other members of Avalanche as well. Which, hey, I honestly don't know what I'm talking about because Final Fantasy's crap. No, I'm just kidding.
Come on, Final Fantasy is good.
I was just never a fan, so.
Okay,
I played 10 and it was good, but.
So yeah, we see Cloud Barrett. Barrett, who's the leader of Avalanche, like an eco-terrorist group in this world. You also saw Biggs and Wedge, I believe, who
were in Star Wars, right?
Yeah, and I think there's some of the characters that carry over a lot to a bunch of other Final Fantasy games. There's always a Cid in Final Fantasy games.
Yeah, but
be it a PC character or an NPC character, but there's always a Cid. The combat, at least what I'm assuming is to be the combat, it looks like it's really fluid. We saw several limit breaks being used, especially Clouds. I'm not sure if we saw too much materia being used as of yet. I only watched it once. I really need to go back and rewatch it. So I don't know if they're going to go back to the turn-based style, which I always thought the turn-based didn't reflect the level these guys were fighting on very well, as opposed to when you watched Advent Children, you know, and you saw exactly what Tifa's strikes could do, or what Barrett's gun could do, or Cloud's Omni Slash looked like really. So I hope they go with something a little more fluid, maybe a mixture of the two. So we'll see.
Right.
I'm not an absolute 100% purist on this game because I don't know. I mean, I liked it when it came out. For the most part, I was not big into RPGs then. Unfortunately, I wish I'd gotten into it. I'm a lot bigger into it now. So anyway, so we've already talked about the Unreal Image. It's partially going to be developed by CyberConnect 2, which I believe are the guys that worked on the Naruto fighting games like Ultimate Ninja Storm,
Okay.
who, okay, I actually own a couple of their games, and the fighting in those is really fun, really simple. It's almost like Smash Brothers simple, where everybody's like all the buttons work the same for everybody. Like if you do an up B attack, it's going to work. Like they'll do different moves, but it's in the same area and stuff.
Right.
You don't
Right.
have to memorize completely different combos like Giles versus Ryu's from Street Fighter.
Right.
Which I think that's a better system overall.
I just push all the buttons when I play Smash Brothers, so.
Well, I don't. I'm a little more. Okay, I spam one attack, but I use it strategically.
Link's up slash, right?
No, yes, and his bombs.
The bombs are by accident because you're trying to do the upward slash.
No, you use the bombs to throw them off balance, then you rush in and do the spin slash. I've also gotten to using Sonic and Mega Man more. So.
Oh wait, there's a strategy to that game. Darn it.
It's let's not even get to a Smash argument right now. So this is the big news that everybody's worried about. It's going to be released episodically. Each part is supposed to be equal to a full-size game. So we're talking, 10 hours each?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what do they quantify as a full-size game? Because if they're going episodic, the first thing I think of is the Telltale games.
Exactly. That's and don't get me wrong, their games are great. Their games are so much fun, but the episodes are extremely short. Like I wouldn't have known. They're like 2 hours long, maybe each episode.
Yeah.
I blew through the entire season in an afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah, you can. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it because it's right up there with them also because Square Enix is responsible for this too, and I mentioned it in a post the other day. This is the same company that is also releasing Hitman Unfinished.
Yep, so, exactly true. This is not the Square we knew. This isn't even Squaresoft. So,
right.
That's what a lot of people are worried about. And I've heard some pros and cons from each side. I don't know where I'm sitting yet on this episodic thing alone, but some people are saying, well, this will allow them to potentially put more stuff into the game, flesh out the world a little bit more, which there was only 10 villages or cities that you could visit in 7, if that. But everything was so interconnected that the world was really structured very well. I don't know if they need or can put more stuff in there without removing something else or taking away from, as big and long as the plot is for 7, it might be hard for it because, it's a game that if you leave it for a while and then you come back, it's like, well, what was going on?
Right.
And I'm sure with episodes, obviously, they could do recaps depending on, hopefully, they will do that because that will read your save from the previous episode to fill you in on some. But the way you can play your character so differently, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing, too, because that really cuts into replayability, or the ease of replayability. And not only that, but depending on how long in between episodes will kind of suck if that's what they're going to do is stagger a release of episodes.
That's another thing. You pretty much hit the nail of what I wanted to say is what is their release date for this? Because releasing stuff episodically on TV works very well because you have a schedule. Okay, every week on Sunday, my show comes out.
Right.
And they let you know if it's going to be every 2 weeks or whatever. Gaming, it's not that easy. Sometimes we'll get one episode this month, then it might be 3 months later, and then it might be 2 months later, it might be 6 months later.
I didn't play the first Walking Dead game until after everything was out.
Yeah, remember I downloaded it for free on Xbox One. So,
right.
And it works a lot better for me that way. So, but you're still breaking up the game in sections. I can't just transition. Right. And they have the 6 months later thing. What happened in those 6 months? Nothing happened.
Yeah.
In those 3 months.
Yeah.
When stuff was happening within hours of each other previously.
Right.
So one good note, they've said that the cross-dressing section of the game is going to still be in the game.
Oh boy.
Yep.
I
which
mean,
is actually kind of fun and goofy. People, that's the problem like these days. People remember Cloud as being really depressing and really like sullen and nihilistic almost.
right.
He was incredibly goofy in Final Fantasy VII. I mean, he was even willing to cross dress at one point to try to
Right.
rescue his friend.
Right.
So I hope they keep that tone with him. That that he can still be silly and goofy like a real fleshed out character. Yeah, when sad moments hit, he's sad, but you know that if his friend feels bad, he'll do something stupid. Whatever. So
I got you. All right. Well, let's go continue on. We got a couple of short articles before we hit the last one. So, the next thing we've got is Minecraft is officially coming to the Wii U on December 17th.
only
Uh,
what 5 years late.
yeah. I don't know why it took that long. Maybe something with Nintendo or whatever. Seems like the system to do it on though. I mean, being able
Yeah,
to control your inventory on the pad, or is that not happening?
I'm not too sure how many details they've given out. I just had I saw this. Oh, this is coming out for the Wii. Well, I'll say something about it, but I
Yeah.
just think it might be too little, too late. Of course, people still buy it because
It's
their kids are going to
Minecraft.
want it.
It's Minecraft.
But it is Minecraft. Minecraft's fun.
Yeah. Um, then we've got CD Projekt Red is going to return to the Witcher series, which is good news. But it kind of makes sense being its bread and butter, honestly.
Yeah,
And
Witcher 3 did, or the Witcher series in general did put them on the map.
I,
So,
I feel like they're trying to pull a Bethesda, which we're going to talk about here too. Now they'll have a medieval series and they'll have a futuristic series with coming up with Cyberpunk 2077.
my question is, will they? I haven't finished Witcher 3 yet. That's another series I got to finish. But the problem is, unlike like Metal Gear Solid, I can't just rush through it because I have to level up. You
Right,
know.
right,
So that one's taking a little bit longer. I don't want to watch a Let's Play because it's just too much fun.
right. Yeah, you
Um,
don't want to ruin that.
no, definitely not because it's a great experience. Uh, I don't know where it ends, but since they were saying this is the last one, I'm afraid it ended like the book series. So I don't know what unless it carries on with the next character, or they do like a prequel, which I don't know. Prequels kind of depending on how they're done, they kind of lessen the impact because you know where the character ends up.
Yeah. So you know he's not going to die by the end of the game or whatever.
Yeah, if it's 2.5 or whatever, yeah, well, he was back in 3. So,
Yeah.
but,
And
okay. But
oh, go ahead.
you mentioned the science fiction. Cyberpunk 2077, which we've discussed before, may get released in May 2016, next year.
Right.
Or by the end of 2016 at the very least.
Yeah,
So,
they're aiming for that window. So,
man, 2016 is going to be a big year for everything.
it seems like we keep saying that because 2015 was a hell of a year too with movies and games. So,
Yeah, but I don't know. Everybody getting offended about everything. Which, speaking of which, real quick, we don't have it in notes. Street Fighter 6 or 7 or whatever they're on is getting censored. Armika, they took away her butt slaps scene because they were afraid it would offend people.
great.
When some of her attacks are her literally throwing herself butt first at people to knock them down.
Right.
She was a character that was appreciated her butt.
Great.
She admired her strength and her beauty. I think, if I remember correctly, she was the equivalent of Sakura is to Ryu for Zangief. So she's like trying to use him as a role model to get stronger and more powerful.
Right.
So I don't understand. I'm tired of these people that don't play games. I don't even play Street Fighter, so I don't care if they have a butt slap in there or whatever.
Right.
People just got to quit getting offended because they're stifling creative process, and I can't stand that.
Yeah.
If it was just a dumb game, which I don't really like Street Fighter,
Right.
guess what? I don't try to get Street Fighter canceled. I just like, well, I'm pass on that. I'll play a different game.
Right. All right. And then the next thing, hey, I get to use this thing here. Somebody was digging through the Steam library and has apparently found Half-Life 3 in there. So I guess Half-Life 3 has been confirmed yet again.
Maybe, I don't know. Again, this is like a rumor. This is so we don't know for yet, but could it be a thing? Didn't weren't they still supposed to release Half Life 2 episode something?
They were.
Whatever happened to
I
that?
thought episode 3 never got finished.
Yeah. So
So
yeah. So I don't know. Maybe they're just jumping because they realize they can't even adhere to a. This is another one, prime example of episodic gaming failing.
yeah, yeah, because they lost steam. It's like who's to say that they won't decide to not finish Final Fantasy because of either A, funding, or B, loss of interest.
Yeah, or
So
or it wasn't selling as well as they wanted. And what's going to happen to people that bought the whole thing? Because I was almost about to pre-order on Amazon the other day when I heard it was being announced, and then
I
I
wonder.
pulled that when I saw that. Oh wait, it's going to be episodic.
I wonder what the implications are of episodic production versus just doing the whole thing straight out.
That's an
Whether
excellent question. We need to find somebody at Telltale. If
right.
anybody knows anybody at Telltale, get them to
Well,
contact us so we can
but
find out.
but they have a successful series every time they put something out. I mean, they haven't really had a failure with their episode series though. I'm kind of
You're
curious.
right, but I'm just talking about how these guys know how to do episodic gaming. I wonder what kind of advice they would give to other because they know exactly how much their time frame is. They know how detailed they could go with their styles.
Right.
And with here's another thing. Telltale does their things digitally, right? They release them digitally, so they have to streamline it so people still have room on their systems to download it.
Right.
Look at the graphics alone on Final Fantasy and Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's gonna be 15 gigs right there for episode 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
How am I supposed to? I've already got to buy a terabyte in
Right.
a system.
Right. Well, compression. The Xbox doesn't have as high a resolution as the PC is going to have, but
Well, not as PC. It also doesn't have the storage capacity of your average PC, or I don't see terabytes for solely for Xboxes.
right.
Just everywhere. Like I could go buy a terabyte for a PC for like $50 now.
Right. Right.
I don't know how much they are for Xbox One, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were 150.
Yeah. Well, and you're talking about externals over USB 3 and all that good stuff. So.
Yeah, exactly. So
All right. Next thing we've got is Bethesda's opens a Montreal studio, and with Bethesda, the announcement was sudden and mysterious, stating that a core team of 40 developers managed by Yves Lachance, former studio head of Behavior Interactive, is already in place, but without the slightest hint of what they might be developing. I guess they could be headed to Bethesda opens an Elder Scrolls 6 studio. Would probably be too much to ask, but I don't know. I think maybe it's either going to be they're lightening the load from the main studio for, between Elder Scrolls and Fallout.
what I was going to say is even if they're just keeping everything in the production at the Maryland base, they
Right.
could have an entire studio dedicated just to quality assurance and finding glitches. A team of 50 people.
Right. Well, and that's not to say that they don't have other things going on either, because they're also working on Doom right now. As far as we know, they're still working on Wolfenstein stuff. So
Whatever happened to Elder Scrolls Online? Are they still doing that?
that's handled by another company, so it doesn't
Okay,
really matter.
okay.
It's handled by another branch that only does online games. So, but apparently it's going. I just saw something about it being free. I don't know if it was for a short time or it's starting to go free to play or whatever. So, or is it? Yeah, it is free to play now, isn't it?
It's free to play on Xbox One at least.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, so who knows what they do with it? I guess only time will tell with that one. So, and then the last thing, I know you're excited to yell at him for a while.
Listen, we were already discussing Kickstarter. We've talked at length on this show about Kickstarter, about the pros and cons about it, but Psychonauts 6 has started crowdfunding. Several former Psychonauts vets will return, including Eric Wopow, concept artist Peter Chan, composer Peter McConnell, voice director Chris Brown, and voice actors Richard Stephen Horvitz, Raz, Nikki Rapp, and Lily, and Nikki Rapp, Lily, whatever. My problem is, uh, Tim Schafer's heading this, of course. He made the first one, and Psychonauts was amazingly written. It's absolutely hilarious. Its platforming was okay. It had a extremely steep learning curve at the end.
Right.
Meat Circus. If you've ever played through it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. My problem is that Tim Schafer is notorious for promising too much, like Peter Molyneux, and providing too little when it comes to these things. They never finished Space Base DF9. They outright abandoned it when it did not sell enough early access copies. And they hadn't even made the game yet. But they said, oh, nobody's buying it on early access. We're not doing it.
This is I think this is a carryover disease of pre-orders.
Yeah, in a way. Usually when they announce, it used to be when they announced pre-orders, they were just a few months away from the game. And then it kept backing up, backing up. Now it's when they announce the game, they announce pre-orders. So
pre-orders, early beta access, crap like that. Minecraft did it right, and then some of the other ones that have come after that, like Terraria, Starbound, stuff like that, have worked fine. But then these bigger developers start doing this. I'm sorry, Tim Schafer's got the cash flow to do this.
Well, here's one of the reasons that he has to go to crowdfunding. Well, he's got multiple reasons. There was one time remember when Brutal Legend was coming out and the publisher or distributor or whatever kicked them off. They said they were canceling publishing it. It was because Tim Schafer continuously did not go to the meetings, the executive meetings.
Right.
He was late for them when he did show up. He failed to meet any deadlines. He never responded to them. And so they're like, well, I mean, what can we do?
Yeah.
If he's not talking to us, we got to quit giving him money.
Yeah.
So it sounds like he's unprofessional, to say the least. Remember, Broken Age went back for additional funding twice. They were working on a game called Massive Chalice. Whatever happened to that? And also, supposedly, the crowdfunding site that they're using and the one they created and owned, I think it's called Fig, or maybe I'm thinking that's another game he wants to work on as well. They've already gone back and retroactively changed how many days were left. Somebody, I don't know if it was Photoshopped or what, but somebody had on there that said 32 days left. And then they pulled another picture with the normal date, and it, it would say December 7th, 32 days left. Then they pulled December 9, 37 days left. So it could have been Photoshop, so there's that thing about that.
I think I own Massive Chalice. I think it was free on Games with Gold one month.
Was it free? So I never heard what happened with that one, so maybe I'm mistaken on that.
Yeah, June. Did it? Yeah, it was the only game free in June.
Oh. It doesn't help that Tim Schafer has been shown mocking the gaming community several times, including people that were his backers. Remember the sock puppet he used at some benefit?
It was an award ceremony.
Yeah, or award ceremony or whatever. Yeah, and he was sitting there mocking people with it. And people were just giving really awkward laughs to it.
Yeah.
Then I think you pulled up the picture of him playing with all the money.
Oh yeah, here, let me pull that.
It was like supposedly he was just making fun of the fact people just say he blows money because he's Broken Age exceeded its goal. He got $3.3 million for it, and it wasn't enough when he said it was only going to take $300,000 initially. And then he posts on Twitter saying, "Oh yeah, you guys are just going after us indies who can't afford games or to make games on our own." When he's made several games, I don't know. I'm not going to fund this one.
Hey, that's still not as bad as even what's it called, Star Citizen. That's I heard a story about somebody spending about $33,000 on ships for that game. That game is a racket. That game is a racket. I mean, that's right up there with those crowdfunded garbage games. That I hope that game fails. I don't like to say that much, but that game deserves to fail, as big as it is and as much as it costs. Rich people can play that game, and that's it. The average person stands no chance playing that game.
No, not at all.
I mean, the cheapest ship was what, $75, $80? Come on.
Yeah, I can't afford that. And if it gets blown up, you don't get it back or whatever. Did they do that, or do you get the
No,
same
I
shit
think you
back?
get the same ship back, but that's still, listen, that's more than a regular game would cost.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Which a funny story is, I decided to go ahead and buy Mario Maker. Right,
yeah.
I was on Amazon, and it was on Amazon for two options: $49 or $59. The digital download was $59. The disc was $49. That was weird.
That's weird.
Yeah. So, anyways, I don't trust Double Fine's track record on this. I don't
Yeah.
trust Tim Schafer. I'm not going to give money to somebody who's been shown mocking the people that
Give them
keep
money.
food on his table.
Yeah.
Um, I just don't know what else to say about it. You know, I've enjoyed Psychonauts. I've enjoyed some of the other LucasArts games that he worked on. In fact, I'm going to buy the Day of the Tentacle remaster. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see that.
I will be buying that because that was a fun game, and I'm hoping that it's still
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
But I just don't know. You know, crowdfunding can be an amazing thing. We've gotten a lot of potential great games out. We've gotten Shovel Knight. We're potentially getting Mystery Science Theater a full season.
Yeah.
Potentially getting a great game in Ukulele. I've got the Mega Man board game on its way here. We are getting a SWAT Cats revival, but then we get crap like this where I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
what to say anymore. You got to be careful, and especially when you're a big name already and under scrutiny, you don't go and mock people
Right.
that are willing to be the ones to help you.
All right. All right. Well, I guess that's it. That wraps it up. That's enough torpedoing Double Fine for now. I'm sure we'll have more in the future here because he's not going
Yeah, we'll keep you
anywhere.
posted on how it goes.
So.
Oh, and he was already getting outside funding for it, I think. So
Oh, okay. Well, the only other thing we've got, and forgot to throw it in the movies section, was Star Wars comes out this week.
this week? Or you mean next week?
Well, next week. Before our next episode, it comes out.
Did you pre-order tickets?
No, they are all sold out around me, man.
I've got to see if there's any here.
Yeah.
God, I totally forgot to look.
Yeah.
Does anybody want to give us tickets? Be a sweetheart. Who's that guy that bought an entire theater out?
Yeah.
Come give us some tickets and
Yeah,
fly
there you
us
go.
over there.
There you go. Well, other than that, that's all we've got. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you guys stopping by on the YouTube live stream. Thanks. Please leave us feedback on our episodes on iTunes, Stitcher, and anywhere else you can get our podcast from. And please like, share, comment, and subscribe on YouTube, where we are currently talking to you.
Yep. You can contact us at ECG_podcast on Twitter, at our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/ECGpodcast, or our email address at ecgpodcast@gmail.com. Also visit us at our webpage, www.stasisgeek.com. That's STASISGEEK. You think I'd learn to spell it? You know, I say it every week. Or like Jeremy said, post a comment. We'll probably read it because I always forget my login for our webpage. And I haven't gotten it saved.
Yeah, we can fix that. That's not a problem.
Yeah, I'm just so lazy.
All right, that's it. We'll be back next week. Until then, stay geeky.